The protagonist had just finished a tough commission and was ready to submit it when a sudden lightning strike hit him directly. In the blink of an eye, he found himself in a strange new world. The first thing he saw was a silver wolf exactly like the one he had drawn. Confused, he noticed an explosion in the distance. The silver wolf dashed toward the noise and the protagonist followed without thinking. They came across 3 strong-looking men. One of them mocked the wolf for standing in his way, calling it a phantom beast. The others laughed, saying the protagonist wasn't even worthy of joining the Phantom Beast Association. Suddenly, another explosion shook the ground. One of the men prepared to attack the wolf, but the protagonist quickly stepped in and blocked the kick with surprising strength. His grip forced the man back, shocking everyone. Enraged, one of the bullies fused with a bronze kangaroo-like beast, gaining massive power. The man they saved warned that this was a bronze-tier fusion, far stronger than them. When asked about the fusion, the man explained that phantom tamers could combine with their beasts. The protagonist, now realizing the danger, was pulled deeper into this unknown world of powerful fighters. The protagonist faced a man who believed that only the strongest deserved respect. That man thought if he got rid of all the others, no one would have a choice but to choose him. In this world, strength decided everything. Holding his strange beast tightly, the man prepared to combine with it. But before he could finish, the protagonist stopped him with a solid punch. Suddenly, the protagonist heard a voice, one that surprised him. He realized it was coming from the silver wolf beside him. Lifting the wolf, he whispered, "Since we came into this world together, let's stand for what's right." In that moment, a golden light burst out as he and the silver wolf combined, unlocking a powerful connection. As their hearts synced, he discovered the wolf's true name, Infinite Demon Wolf, a rare kind of creature that grows stronger with pure determination. The man attacked again, thinking the fusion with a common beast was weak, but the protagonist calmly blocked his punch and crushed him to the ground with ease, saying, "I've already found your weakness." He then helped up another guy who introduced himself as Bardo. But the angry man wasn't done yet. He rushed forward with a wild punch, but the protagonist dodged and countered with a clean hit, saying, "Without a strong bond, strength means nothing." Right then, the man's beast jumped out and ran away. The protagonist explained that the beast left because it was never trusted. It had felt fear deep inside, fear of being thrown away. Just then, another man walked over with a smile and asked if they were interested in joining the Phantom Beast Association. The next day, the group stood before the association's building. Bardo shook the protagonist excitedly, shocked that a powerful master had invited them. The protagonist asked what made the association so special. Bardo explained that the continent had 4 powerful groups and this association stood just below the top 3. Long ago, the land was full of war. But one powerful tamer stood up, defeated the chaos, and created the association. Since then, people respected its mission to help anyone with a fair request. Inspired, Bardo clenched his fists and shouted that one day he would become someone strong, someone just like the protagonist. The trial began with participants rushing to claim their spots, and one man tried to take a shortcut by gliding across the water on a flying fish. His confidence shattered when a huge crocodile burst from the water, snapping its jaws around the fish. Before he could react, a woman's whip wrapped around him, slamming him to the ground. She coldly informed him he was eliminated and revealed herself as a rescue officer, warning everyone not to do anything reckless if they wanted to survive. Bardo was amazed by her strength, while the protagonist wondered how she knew so much. She explained that dangerous beasts guarded both land and water routes, making it impossible to pass alone. Without hesitation, she asked the protagonist and Bardo to join her team, revealing her name was Loya. With their combined skills, she was confident they could make it through the trial. The group set their sights on Sun Island. Meanwhile, on the other side, a group of participants was being overpowered by a red-haired man who only wanted a good fight. He and his partner knocked out anyone in their way, looking for the protagonist who had defeated someone important to them. When the protagonist's group arrived at Sun Island, they found unconscious bodies scattered around. A towering figure stepped forward, his eyes burning with excitement, ready to challenge the protagonist for a real fight. The fight reached a new level when the protagonist fused with the silver wolf, ready to take on the powerful man in front of him. That man grinned with excitement, finally feeling challenged. While the protagonist held him off, another ally tried to help but was blocked by a tough warrior named Ret. In the heat of battle, the opponent mocked the protagonist, saying it wasn't revenge that fueled him, it was the way the protagonist treated his phantom beast. He didn't care about the kangaroo, what angered him was how the silver wolf was treated like a pet, not a partner. He struck hard, slamming the protagonist into the ground, disappointed by how quickly the fight seemed over. But then, to his surprise, the protagonist stood back up smiling. That moment, something incredible happened. The silver wolf had evolved, its strength rising to a new level. The opponent was thrilled, believing battle unlocked such power. But the protagonist disagreed. He had felt something deeper during that hit. Not fear, but the beast's care, gratitude, and worry. It wasn't fighting for itself, it was pushing itself for its master, and now it wanted both of them to rest. The opponent refused to believe it. Fueled by anger, he rushed again, only to be stopped by a perfectly timed counter. The protagonist had found his weakness, not strength, but the broken link between him and his own beast. That one opening was all it took to turn the fight. As dust settled, memories flashed through the big man's mind, a time he stood alone, fighting just to keep his food from a beast he misunderstood. That memory had shaped his path, but now maybe it was time to see things differently. While the exam was still going on, a huge explosion suddenly shook the entire ground. A staff member quickly announced through a loudspeaker that the area was under attack and told all candidates to evacuate immediately. Confused and scared, many wondered who would be bold enough to attack a place linked to the Phantom Beast Association. Just then, a powerful knight riding a massive warhorse appeared and several strong candidates were already lying defeated before him. The knight looked down at everyone and said he wouldn't let such valuable people escape. He planned to use them as a way to pressure the association. He then pointed his weapon at the others, daring them to fight for their freedom. The protagonist and his two teammates stood ready and joined with their phantom beasts. One teammate rushed first but was knocked out easily. The girl tried next, firing arrows, but the knight blocked every shot and created a spinning windstorm. He then caught her midair and threw fire at her, but the protagonist jumped in and saved her just in time. With calm confidence, he faced the knight and said he knew the knight's weakness. The knight laughed and challenged him to try. The protagonist charged, his punch glowing with the shape of a wolf's head. The knight was shocked, realizing this wasn't just a normal fighter. In a surprising move, the protagonist grabbed the warhorse and slammed it into the ground. The knight was thrown off and lost his balance. That's when the truth came out: the knight's power only worked when he was riding the horse. Without it, the fusion stopped. The protagonist had figured it out by sensing the beast's feelings. The knight, now overwhelmed, stared in disbelief, shocked by how much talent and power the protagonist had hidden. The protagonist opened his eyes, dazed from an earlier attack. He found himself in a dark underground prison beneath Sun Island, surrounded by bars and fellow prisoners. Barto explained that this prison once held powerful beasts to protect the islands. Across the cell, the protagonist saw his own beast locked in a cage, kept weak with tranquilizers to stop any fusion. Just then, he heard a faint voice calling him. His beast was reaching out. He stood, hope rising. Laya was shocked when she learned he had full sync with his beast, a rare bond of mind, heart, and soul. It meant he could fuse even at a distance. Encouraged by others, he called to his beast. Power surged as they fused, breaking the prison bars apart. He freed others, urging them to find their beasts. But as they reached the exit, a smirking man blocked their path, releasing a venomous snake, stopping many with one move. The group was on edge as they continued their escape plan. The man, with a rare golden beast, watched the situation unfold with a cold gaze, while the girl with sharp battle instincts, known as the protagonist, stayed focused on the task ahead. As the snake coiled and rose again, radiating dark energy, the protagonist's heart tightened. The battle hadn't even started, and the opponent's beast alone was overwhelming. The man, dismissing the tension, ordered his beast to heal and walked away, leaving the group behind with an ominous warning. As fear paralyzed them, the protagonist felt a mix of anger and disbelief at being underestimated. Their fusion abilities had not been used yet, and the tension in the air was thick. Despite the man's departure, the group had to find a way out. They were led by Mimi, who had found a possible escape route. But the steep mountains blocked their path, forcing the protagonist to climb with difficulty. In frustration, they realized the only way out was through the main hall, heavily guarded by elites. But the protagonist had an idea: there might be a hidden passage in the library of the hall. Risking it, they slipped inside and discovered a conversation about the rare phantom beasts. The protagonist, now caught, awkwardly confronted the woman, unsure how much danger they were truly in. The protagonist faces a dangerous challenge when a mysterious woman, using her phantom beast, the lens bug, tracks every movement of him and his group. With the bug's eyes flickering like a projector, it reveals everything they've done. The woman, confident and playful, offers him a chance to escape the islands if he can block all her attacks before a candle burns out. She demonstrates her strength with a whip, launching sharp wind blades at him, forcing him into a defensive stance. Despite the relentless assault, the protagonist uses his wit and strength to dodge and block her attacks. At one point, he cleverly uses the floor to shield himself, though she counters with even more dangerous moves. But just as he is about to strike, he's caught by her whip, which ties him up tightly. Still calm, the protagonist defuses the situation by releasing Silverwolf, who catches her whip, and he uses this moment to break free and land a powerful kick. Impressed by his tactics, the woman honors the deal and reveals the hidden path on Sun Island that will lead to their escape. Exhausted, the protagonist reflects on the strange nature of this encounter, realizing there is more to this test than he thought. The protagonist and the others find themselves facing a critical decision. Leah, with calm determination, offers the chance for the group to walk away, but warns that anyone who refuses to follow her orders will face severe consequences. Nia notices the clever move as she projects an image of Loya, rallying everyone with words of encouragement. He explains they must not abandon Leah, especially after all that has been sacrificed. The group, inspired by Loya's leadership, agrees to go forward together. Inside the hall, the atmosphere shifts as a mysterious man opens the door, revealing himself as Frank, the division head of the Phantom Beast Association. He announces their success, though confusion sweeps over the candidates. Moments later, Master Mofi appears and explains the association's purpose: to protect the people of the Brad continent. He praises their loyalty for attempting to save Leah, marking them as worthy candidates. The group is led underground to a hidden training area where Mofi sets a serious challenge. If they fail, they'll be trapped forever. Despite their doubts, the group agrees to continue, stepping into the underground complex. However, Leah soon faces a deadly trap in a hallway filled with arrows, which she easily dodges. But the danger doesn't end there. Explosions erupt, and only quick thinking by the protagonist saves Loya from a fiery blast. Tensions rise, but they press on. The protagonist and their companions are introduced to the trial path, a treacherous path filled with 36 types of traps and 72 mechanisms. It's known for testing both strength and endurance, with many getting injured, but with the best medical help nearby. A strange one-eyed, green gelatinous creature, Osti, appears, and Mofi demonstrates its power by entangling the trio with its tentacles. Osti blocks communication between the tamer and beast, testing their compatibility for fusion. After assessing them, Osti reveals an extraordinary discovery. The protagonist and their beast, Silverwolf, have a 100% fusion compatibility rate, something extremely rare. This shocks everyone, but Leah, the other companion, also has the same rare compatibility with her beast. Mofi notes that their 100% fusion rate could lead to incredible power, but it will take hard training to unlock it fully. He announces that they will begin intense training the next day, forbidding them to eat breakfast. The protagonist wonders what kind of training requires an empty stomach. The next morning, Mofi reveals the true nature of phantom beasts, their incredible powers, and how they evolve through training, bonding, and nutrition. He then introduces his own beast, Black Box, to demonstrate the passion required for their upcoming journey. As the protagonist finished his task, a strange black box fell from the sky, slamming into the ground. Mofi, with a grin, eagerly awaited to see who would emerge from the box first. Meanwhile, Leah slowly regained consciousness, unsure of her surroundings. She noticed a faint light ahead and, following it, found a mysterious door. To her shock, she saw both herself and Silverwolf walking out from the other side, but the wolf appeared painfully thin, nearly skeletal. When the wolf spotted a bowl of food, its eyes sparkled with excitement, and it eagerly darted towards the meal. At that moment, the protagonist realized Silverwolf had been fighting by her side on an empty stomach. This realization sparked a surge of power within her, energizing her body from within. Back in the underground arena, Mofi sipped his tea leisurely, while the black box monster struggled. He mocked it, questioning what kind of beast had been placed inside. The box monster groaned and, with a loud effort, released the protagonist and her teammates along with their phantom beasts in a disheveled heap. BTO, overwhelmed with emotion, grabbed Mimi and promised never to leave her again. Leah, calm and collected, remarked on the black box monster's poor performance. Mofi, shocked, realized the box had pushed a beast to evolve, not expecting that. The black box monster, still shaken, explained the chaos it had endured, from excessive workouts to food consumption and even energy drainage by a woman. Mofi chuckled, then decided it was time for live combat training. With a snap of his fingers, the battle began. The black box monster, now a giant orb, crashed down like a meteor, aiming for the team. Faced with this overwhelming force, the protagonist and her teammates fused with their beasts, bracing for the next challenge. The protagonist is locked in an intense battle against a powerful phantom beast, which sneers at his chances of victory. The beast explains the concept of phantom power, revealing that phantom beasts are ranked by their power levels, such as low, mid, high, king, saint, and divine. Despite the protagonist's beast being a black iron beast in terms of quality, its power is at the king level. The beast mocks the protagonist, warning him that he stands no chance and urging him to give up. But the protagonist is determined, focusing on dodging the beast's attacks while slowly growing more aware of his powers. Alongside his companion, the silver wolf, they are learning to control their abilities, becoming more synchronized with each movement. Meanwhile, Mofi observes from the sidelines, impressed by their rapid progress. He believes they might be ready for the trial sooner than expected. Nia, another character, teases Mofi, confident about his student's potential. However, Nia hints at a major challenge waiting for the protagonist. The hardest part of the trial path is not the traps but a dangerous individual lurking in the shadows. This figure, shackled by chains, remains calm and composed, revealing a mysterious, ominous threat that could disrupt everything.